And we are back with good old episode 9. We just got Xanathar, as you can see, because I haven't closed the page out yet, because I am smart. I'm a smart feller, not a fart smeller. Uh, let's just get right to good old episode 9. I want to see what we get. Don't be a Doctor Who commander. Oh, it's the Ghostforge! Spirit Man! Turns everything that dies into ghosts. I actually quite like this guy and have been building him in my free time. And he's doing theft stuff. Well, that's actually pretty smart if I do say so myself. Yeah, because it's control, not own. Okay. That's actually really funny. I... Huh. Huh. uh, this one actually might be really easy compared to the other ones I've gotten today. Huh. Well, I'll see after I have good old Hofri built. Hello, hello. We are back for good old episode 9? I want to say 9. I'm not 100. It is 9. I just looked at the sheet. With Hofri Ghostforge, spirits you control get +1/+1, have trample and haste. Whenever a non-token creature dies, exile it. If I do, create a token that's a copy of that creature, except it's a spirit, in addition to its other types. Then when that creature leaves battlefield, return the exiled card to your graveyard. So, of course, we got some classic ETB triggers, creatures are going to be double entering and sometimes more. So we want some gaining life from it, and then some, well, damaging it. Yeah, because whatever. What the fuck? That's new. Okay. Because creatures entering your opponent's control they'll lose a life, and then you'll gain a life whenever a creature comes under your control. And then you have Impact Tremors, which no matter what will deal 1 damage to each opponent for each creature that ETBs. Steal your friend's stuff. With a lot of this, you're going to be just obviously gaining control, gain control, gain control. For this one, you can pay it multiple times, so he is one that you want to obviously get very fast. A lot of these are just gaining control of creatures. Yeah, sure, for this one, you can sack a creature, which is maybe something you want to do. Uh, yeah, these are the whole strategy with him, with Hofri, is stealing creatures and then sacrificing them to keep their spirits forever. Then obviously sacrificing your friends. You're going to be sacrificing them for red mana. You can sacrifice a creature to do the damage. You got Ashnod's Altar for some more mana. And then you can pay 1 to play more cards. With this, you're going to be getting your friends' creatures under your control for as long as they remain a spirit, and they'll be exiled. Uh, Token support. Uh, this is just for extra tokens for nesting Dovehawk. You're populating, so you're going to create a whole lot of tokens. Legend rule doesn't apply for tokens you control, which is really good because Hofri doesn't say anything about them being non-legendary. So keeping Kodrick, Soulkinder will make sure they don't leave the battlefield or die, and they can pay the 1 to make a quick token. And yeah, sure, you gotta sacrifice at the beginning of the step, but that's not too bad. You got Mondrak to make double the tokens, and then you got Virtue to give them +1/+1 in Vigilance. Nesting Dovehawk, though, is a big one because it's at the beginning of combat. You can populate all the tokens that you control, and then if you want to sack them for mana, you can easily. Pump your board. A lot of these guys are okay if they die because you can bring them back as the spirits. You got the melee, and then other creatures have melee, so they're gonna get +1/+1 for each opponent that you attack that combat. Bayfire Liege, red creatures get +1, white creatures get +1/+1, and then just dealing damage and gaining life. Blade Historian, being able to give all your attacking creatures double strike, really good. Even if he dies, you can bring him back. It's a good creature. Jor Kaldin is probably one that you can cut in this deck, if you need a cut, is going to be this guy. Not not the best, but it's good just because of giving creatures +3 +0. He's not gonna be your top guy. Quint, giving spirits +1 +0, and then whenever one more cards leave the graveyard, creating a 3/2. Pretty good, just for token support. Love when my phone goes off. Uh, Either way, I think really everyone but Jorkaden is people that you'd rather have. Jorkaden is kind of just your last resort kind of guy, especially if you have the artifacts. Some goodness. Uh, these are creatures that can die and are okay with dying. You got the Mirror Battle Sphere. If it dies, you're going to be creating 4 more tokens from it. Duke Alder, you're getting that Myriad trigger, so you might be able to get multiple Meter Battle Spheres, just ETBing. He is just kind of good in this deck, and that's why he's here. No specific reason, just because good. Krenko is here because of the spirit support, just getting a lot of yeah, sorry, I'm tired. Just being able to pump them up super fast, super big with all the pump spells, giving +1/+1, +3, +1, then the other pluses from Bayfire and Hofri. Neheb being able to get a whole bunch of mana, especially if you copy him with Duke Alder. Uh, Neheb is a very good target for Duke Alder just because it's a combat damage trigger, not attack. But with that, you do need to make sure that you have like Cadric Soulkinder on the board, so the Legend rule doesn't apply. And then Atali, just being able to play your opponent's stuff. This is just some good cards in general. No real specific reason for a lot of these, just goodness. We do need to think about the end game. Obviously, what are we going for the win con for Hofri? In this, it's kind of just killing them with their own stuff. You know, being able to grab those creatures and, sacrificing them in some cases, sacrificing for damage in some cases. For a lot of these, you're going to be, like, picking, for specifically a lot of these 3, you're going to be picking their strongest creatures. They might have a fucking, what, I can't remember the dragon's name. It's one of the dragons. It's one of the dragons from, um, well, let me look it up. MTG Green Dragon. Oh, yeah, Old Gnawbone. If they have an Old Gnawbone, you're in it. If you sacrifice them and you get a Spirit of Old Gnawbone, amazing. Plus the double strike and the melee, you're gonna be getting a lot of treasures, and you just keep them. Hofri, very good for smashing them and killing them with their own stuff, kind of like Xanathar was, but in a different way without having to steal their entire library. Uh, that's all. That's the only really win con I have for them. Uh, the other ones are kind of obvious with just making a whole bunch of tokens and spears and then just killing them outright. A lot of these creatures are in my personal deck with him that I've been building for a little while. Hofri is a very fun thief commander just because you get to keep the creatures. I think Strixhaven had a lot of good creatures, and I think Hofri might be one of the top one of them. Top, like, non-dragon creature. Because obviously you have the dragons from Strixhaven, which one of them was the Golgari one, which I think the best dragon from that set and best creature from that set. That, like, legendary dragon. Uh, it's very thiefy, and obviously if more white spirit tribal support comes out, you can add them in here if you want to go more spirit tribal. But there aren't a lot of spirit white tribal cards that fit in this deck, in my opinion. Either way, you know, I have fun with this deck, especially being able to gain control of them multiple times if you can make the mana for it. especially being able to populate. You got the myriad. Uh, Another win con, I guess you could say, is insurrection. Just kind of obvious there at that point, but you can still sack them for extra mana, and then make sure your opponents don't get them back at end of turn, just in case. Either way, I think this deck is fun. Obviously, let your opponents know that you're going to be, or don't, I guess. Do what you want. Have fun with it, and just smash them with their own stuff. Win the game and make it so they regret fighting you in Hofri. Other than that, have a wonderful day. Please like, subscribe, support, comment what you want to see. These last like 4 or 5 videos, because this is video 4 that I'm recording today, and I got at least one more that I'm doing. Uh, yeah, I probably won't respond until after episode. I'm gonna probably start recording some more today, and I have scheduled out. So it will be a little bit before I respond to any comments, unless I cut something in and edit something in. But yeah, I hope you all have a wonderful day, and please continue to watch. I love that, and it means a lot. It does.